Now at 7 o'clock, the man accused of randomly punching at least 2 people, including a 69-year-old woman in Southeast Portland, shows up in court and pleads not guilty. We're going to hear what the prosecutors in this case had to say coming up in a live report. Plus,
I really thought she was gonna die.
A toddler mauled by 2 dogs at her own front door. Why her mother says it never should have happened. And
this is the second detection in Oregon waters. So what does that mean for us? What do we need to be doing?
talking about an invasive crab species that's been spotted along the Willamette River. How Fish and Wildlife officials believe the crab ended up here. Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. And he's Chris McGinnis. Chris filling in for Rod the rest of this week and next, doing the traffic and the weather.
2 clickers for 2 jobs. Yes, my green on the radar matches China's shirt this morning. We are completely, at least from this vantage point, socked in with rain. Light rain, but rain nonetheless, which obviously will start slowing our morning commute. We'll look at that in just a second. Here's the progress that rain has made over the last 3 hours. And again, just to reemphasize the fact this is generally light rain, checking the observations across southwest Washington, we've measured so far a few hundredths of an inch in 3 hours time. So a steady but light rain is the call for today. It is, the cloud deck is low. This is live right now from our Wells Fargo sky camera. The tippy top of the building there is up in that cloud deck. It's 42 last check there. The Vancouver sky camera here from the Springs to the waterfront, little drippy there. 42 last check at Pearson Airfield. And elsewhere, again, low 40s pretty common here. Tigard right now at 40. Wilsonville, one of the cooler spots at 38. And Salem sits at 41 degrees. All right, temperature-wise, not going very far today. In the mid-40s, I think, with, again, light rain in the picture today and a wet 70 forecast. It's December. We expect that. We'll look at that in just a few minutes. Let's get you out the door to see how the rain is impacting your drive. A little slow right now at the upper left-hand part of your screen. That is the Sylvan Hill. Highway 26 eastbound traffic starting to slow significantly. No reports of any crashes, but obviously folks riding the brakes as they come down the hill from Sylvan and into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Right now, the drive on the east side also starting to bunch up a little bit. That's Interstate 84 out near 82nd Avenue. Your drive times right now shake out like this. Highway 26, 21 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Guys?
All right, thank you, Chris. Our top news story this half hour, the man accused of randomly punching at least 2 people, including a 69-year-old grandmother in Southeast Portland, pleaded not guilty in court on Wednesday.
Investigators say the 24-year-old suspect delivered those attacks just minutes apart. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is live outside the Multnomah County Courthouse with the latest on these cases. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, China. Drew, 24-year-old Santos Antonio Puerto Rios is pleading not guilty to all misdemeanor charges involved in those cases. Now, we want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing. So security video from last Tuesday shows the moments when a 69-year-old was dumping out trash. That's when police say Puerto Rios walked by and punched her in the face, knocking her to the ground. He's also suspected of assaulting a 21-year-old a few blocks away just 15 minutes after that assault near Southeast 122nd and Powell. He was arrested in that second attack and then released, and then rearrested Tuesday once police connected him to assaulting the grandmother. Puerto Rios is now facing 2 counts of 4th-degree assault, but more charges could be added. The Multnomah County DA says this case represents a missed opportunity to protect the community from future harm. KGW also spoke with that Portland grandmother's granddaughter, Bianca, by phone, who gave us an update on her condition.
We're very relieved to know that this man is no longer on the streets. I mean, she's still wincing in pain every time she gets up and whatnot. I mean, the question I would raise is how many more victims do there need to be, before we start to take someone serious as a criminal?
Now, we also spoke with officials from the city's Office of Violence Prevention about what resources are available to residents who want to protect themselves while out in public. We'll have that part of the story coming up at 8. Back to you.
Corey Johnson live for us outside the Multnomah County Courthouse. Thank you, Corey. Meanwhile, a toddler in Salem is recovering in the hospital after her mother says she was mauled by 2 dogs. Again, we want to warn you that this story also includes images that are disturbing to see. Marissa Carone says her 16-month-old daughter was attacked by the 2 dogs Sunday afternoon right outside their apartment. She told us they belong to a neighbor and that one of the dogs latched onto her daughter's head.
Just, in my mind, it keeps flashing back in my head, just seeing the inside of my baby and her skull, on full display, is I really thought she was gonna die. I didn't know how somebody could survive such a horrific attack.
Obviously not easy for mom to talk about this. Her daughter is being cared for at Randall Children's Hospital, where she's already undergone, that is, one surgery. She has more surgeries to come. Both dogs, by the way, were taken to Marion County Dog Control, and we understand the owner was cited. Carone says she's reported these dogs before, and the apartment's management told KGW that they've been in ongoing eviction proceedings with the dogs' owners.
Portland City Council has approved a plan to start charging detention centers a fee to counteract the, quote, unique costs they pose to the city. While the new policy doesn't specifically name the ICE facility in South Portland, and Councilor Angelina Murillo says it would apply to that facility. The city administrator will determine the fee to offset costs for things like police overtime, cleanup efforts, and helping residents and businesses move.
The Trump administration has launched immigration raids in New Orleans and also in Minnesota, in both Minneapolis and St. Paul. President Trump also went on the record specifically saying he wants people of Somali origin out of the U.S.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care.
A senior law enforcement source told NBC News that ICE is not targeting Somalis, but added federal agents will arrest anyone that's violated the country's immigration laws. Meanwhile, Oregon's Senate Majority Leader, Casey Jama, who immigrated here from Somalia, released a statement saying in part, quote, this administration has no interest in a lawful, efficient, and accountable U.S. immigration system. Driven by racism and Islamophobia, they're sowing fear and hostility.
Along the Oregon coast, the Coast Guard rescue helicopter has returned to the city of Newport following a federal judge's ruling last week. Around Halloween, the Coast Guard helicopter was moved 70 miles south to North Bend. Lincoln County and the Newport fisherman's wife sued the federal government to have it returned. A judge issued a temporary order directing DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to return the aircraft. The city reported it was back in its usual spot yesterday, and the next hearing is scheduled for Monday in Eugene.
New this morning, the FBI has made an arrest in a nearly 5-year-old investigation into who placed pipe bombs in Washington before the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Now, this is all according to the Associated Press. One law enforcement official said police arrested a man this morning, but did not include what charges the suspect would face. Now, the pipe bombs were placed near the offices of both the Democratic and Republican National Committees in D.C. No one was hurt, but the FBI says both devices could have been lethal.
In other news this morning, we have the tree right now, a live look from Rockefeller Center. The Christmas tree shining bright with a Swarovski star on top. It will be lit between 5 a.m. and midnight through mid-January, and on Christmas Eve, it'll stay lit for 24 hours straight. This massive 75-foot Norway spruce is all lit up at this point with 50,000 multicolored lights. After the holidays, the tree will be milled and the lumber will be donated to Habitat for Humanity to build new homes.
I'm ready if you want to give it a whirl. I'm ready to say the name of that star.
Okay.
Swarovski.
That's so good.
Say Swarovski. Oh, darn it. Why did I go there twice?
Swarovski. And ladies, for Christmas, if you want to tell your husband, they do have like tennis bracelets in different sizes. If you have small wrist or big wrist, they look like diamonds. I wore it on my wedding. My favorite piece of jewelry.
Hey, fellas.
Welcome.
I'll tell you a good gift for your wife, fellas. NFL Sunday ticket.
No, she don't want that. I promise you she doesn't want that.
Chris, you can give us the forecast.
Moving forward, we've got rain out there right now. This is, we've got light rain, but rain nonetheless here for a lot of us now across northwest Oregon and southwest Washington. There's the progress the rain has made in the last 3 hours. It is continuing to press south and eastward, and it's pretty solid here as we look to the north up towards Seattle and out towards the Olympic Peninsula. What does that mean? It's going to rain all day. That said, generally light rain with heavier amounts to the north, lighter amounts to the south. Our modeling breaks down the total rainfall for today like this, about 3 or 4 tenths of an inch possible here in Portland, a little more to the north, less as you get down towards Salem and Eugene. But we're all getting wet today. And even the east side of the state, you may start with some snowflakes, by the way, out towards Pendleton, Baker City, John Day, but temperatures will be warming for you folks as well. All right, here's Futurecast. Again, green on the map all day long, so on and off, well, mostly on rain. There may be a little rain shadowing here, especially as we get south of the metro area throughout the day. And I think that's why lesser amounts down towards Salem and Eugene. But in any event, plan for rain. 42 right now at PDX. It's 41 in Salem. Our Wells Fargo sky camera has been swallowed up by the low cloud deck now, so you can't see anything there. 42, as we mentioned, at the airport. All right, the plan for today, temperatures really not going very far. Mid-40s, I think, will do it for today. If anything, the temperatures may come up overnight tonight, and tomorrow will certainly be a little warmer. Say hello to Jack. Jack is today's KGW Pet of the Day. Thank you, Cassidy and Zach, for sharing your favorite four-legged friend. If you would like to share your pet of the day with us, we'd love to give you a shout out. petoftheday@kgw.com is the email address. Okay, real quick, our 7-day forecast, wet and more wet, and potentially really wet next Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll look at that in more detail coming up in just a bit. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads right now, and they are wet and getting a little slow. Up in the upper left-hand part of your screen, that is the inbound Sunset. We're starting to ride the brakes a little bit near the zoo. 23 minutes right now will get you in from Hillsborough. There's the trip near the Interstate Bridge, I-5 South, plugging up there. Your trip in from Main Street to the Fremont has jumped up to 21 minutes at last check. And while we're talking about bridges, there's a big traffic alert. Oregon City, West Lynn, Gladstone. The Abernathy Bridge closes overnight Friday and Saturday nights, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Saturday, 11 p.m. Saturday to 7 a.m. Sunday, as ODOT does some sign bridge installation. Your detours, 99E, Highway 43, I-5 during the closure. Guys, back to you.
All right, good heads up there, Chris. Thank you for that. Still to come here on the Sunrise Show, we're talking about an invasive crab species that's been spotted along the Willamette River twice this year. We're going to hear from state officials how they think this crab ended up here in the first place.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
For the second time in about the last 8 months, an invasive crab species has been spotted along the Willamette River.
It's so cute.
No, it's not cute. It's invasive.
It's called the Chinese mitten crab.
Mitten sounds cute.
Mitten's cute.
But it's not cute. It's invasive.
No, and it's just like. It's a type of crab that can apparently go in and out of fresh or salt water. KGW's Joe Rainieri headed to the Willamette to find out how these crab got there.
They might be small.
It is illegal to possess Chinese mitten crab in Oregon.
But the Chinese mitten crab is mighty. Just a couple of weeks ago, one was spotted in a shallow part of the Willamette River near the Selwood Bridge.
And how an invasive species ends up in an area can be a mystery. Sometimes we absolutely know how it got here. In this case, our best guess is that it was illegally dumped.
Adam Baylor with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says these crabs can wreak havoc.
Chinese mitten crab, again named from their furry claws, they're really good at digging and burrowing into dikes, stream banks.
They are known to steal bait from fishermen and go after native species. They also have the ability to stay out of water longer than a typical crab and go back and forth between freshwater and saltwater. This past spring, another Chinese mitten crab was discovered by fishermen along the Columbia River.
What we're worried about right now is this is the second detection in Oregon waters. So what does that mean for us? What do we need to be doing?
To help solve the mystery of how this crab got here,
the process we're doing right now is working with Portland State University's Center for Lakes and Reservoirs. They have a team that's dedicated to detecting, investigating invasive species, aquatic invasive species throughout the state of Oregon.
Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
So by the way, if you do spot any of these crabs along the river here or in other places around the area, you should definitely take a photo of them and then send them to the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife.
I hope you practice what you preach, China. Meanwhile, a live look from Pioneer Courthouse Square on this Thursday morning. Man, the tree looks awesome. And those tents below, those represent the beer festival happening down there at the square this weekend. Oh yeah, baby. The holiday season is here. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter what the weather is like this weekend because they do have those tents that keep things warm and obviously dry throughout the course of that event.
But it would help if it were dry.
It wouldn't hurt.
And that's not going to happen. Sorry to disappoint. Yeah, we got plenty of rain in the forecast. I mean, what do you expect? December is the wettest month of the year on average at PDX, and this weekend is certainly going to live up to it. Not terribly heavy rain, but rain nonetheless. It's raining out there lightly right now, and the progress that rain has made over the last 3 hours, you can see scooting in from the north to the south. So that's the call for today and over the next couple of days. Periods of light rain. Tomorrow might be a shot of some steadier, heavier rain, at least in the morning, and you'll see that with future casts. And when we put everything together, between now and Sunday, we may wind up with 1 to 2 inches of rain in the Willamette Valley. Also, high snow levels continue to be a story. More on that in just a second. Here's a look at the cumulative rainfall forecast between today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, maybe 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches, more at the coast, more in the higher terrain, of course, where you get the added lift. Speaking of the higher terrain, this is a live look right now from Timberline. There have been a few snowflakes up there this morning. It's 34. Those temperatures are going to come up. And so, unfortunately, when I show you this map, the snow will be confined to the tippy tops of the Cascade Mountains. So we're talking even above the Cascade ski resorts through my 7-day forecast. There are some signs that that may change next weekend, but we're still a good 7, 8, 10 days away from that. For now, 42 Kelso, Portland 41 in Salem, hopping over the Cascades. Chilly right now. Out towards Baker City, Burns, and John Day, you folks well below freezing. There may be some mixed rain and snow out there early today, but even in that part of the state, snow levels will be rising and temperatures will be coming up. We are socked in the clouds. Earlier today we could see, now we can't. This is from the top of the Wells Fargo building in downtown Portland. It's 42 degrees at PDX. Temperatures probably not going to go real far today. Mid-40s I think will do it today. But watch this. I think we've got this queued up to run overnight. Yeah, temperatures actually come up overnight. We may wake up to temperatures near 50 tomorrow morning, a sign of that warmer air mass coming in, and tomorrow will wind up being warmer. So you see that reflected in my 7-day forecast. 48 and rainy today, again on the order of a tenth, maybe 3/10 of an inch of rain, depending on where you are, more to the north, less to the south. Tomorrow morning could be fairly wet. I think in terms of rain impacts on the morning commute, today is going to be impactful. Tomorrow maybe even more so with a shot of some slightly heavier rain. Sun and showers Saturday, more rain Sunday, maybe a break Monday, and then Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday is a time frame we are watching for potentially some heavier rain. There's still some moving pieces in that forecast, so we'll keep you posted. All right, let's keep you posted on the morning drive. This is what it looks like out there right now. Did I say dry? Drive. It's not dry. It's wet for sure. Look at the vapor trails coming off the cars there. It's Highway 26 out near the Sylvan Hill. And the I-5 drive is a whole lot of not fun now. There you are at the Interstate Bridge, and then working your way through North Portland. The headlights, I mean, the northbound side's wide open. The southbound side is certainly slowing right now. Drive time's building a bit. 25 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough on the Sunset, and the I-5 South commute, that's about a 25-minute ride now from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. China?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on Sunrise, a new report into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth suggests he may put U.S. troops at risk. And now lawmakers on both sides are demanding answers. We have that story plus more of your national headlines when Sunrise continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
A new Inspector General report says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared secret information in a signal chat, potentially endangering U.S. troops. Hegseth was already facing scrutiny over strikes on a suspected drug boat. Here's NBC's Tracy Wilkins with more.
What happened when and who saw what? Senate and House committees are expected to ask questions today that will paint a clearer picture for a timeline of that September 2nd U.S. airstrike of a boat in the Caribbean near Venezuela. The White House says suspected drug smugglers were on board. Now there is bipartisan backlash over a second strike that's believed to have killed apparent survivors of the first one.
So to be clear, you support the decision to kill survivors after the initial
No, I
strike?
support the decision to knock out the boats, and whoever's piloting those boats, most of them are gone, but whoever are piloting those boats, they're guilty of trying to kill people in our country.
The Trump administration maintains the boats were suspected of smuggling drugs, although it has offered no proof.
Hegseth has to be held responsible for issuing the order that led to not only the killing of these two survivors of the shipwreck against international law and possibly a war crime.
There's more backlash for Hegseth as a new internal investigation finds that he may have put troops at risk when he shared information about war plans on a Signal group chat. Some Republican lawmakers see all of this as a continued attack on Trump's Secretary of Defense.
I think that this is just an ongoing effort. It started with the confirmation battle. He was their number one target.
Tracy Wilkins, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national and world headlines with your morning rush. An F-16 Thunderbird crashed near China Lake in California during a training mission yesterday. This video shows the pilot ejecting just seconds before the jet hit the ground and exploded. The Air Force says the pilot did walk away with non-life-threatening injuries. They say the fire caused by the crash didn't cause any issues. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. The House Oversight Committee released never-before-seen photos and videos of the private Caribbean island owned by Jeffrey Epstein. The images of Epstein Island show the inside and outside of buildings on the compound, several bedrooms and bathrooms, and even a room with a dental chair. Epstein owned 2 islands within the U.S. Virgin Islands. A doctor who sold ketamine to actor Matthew Perry in the weeks before his overdose has been sentenced. Dr. Salvador Plasencia will serve 2.5 years in federal prison for illegal drug distribution. A judge says Palencia did not supply the dose that killed Perry, but was helpful in fueling his addiction. He's the first of 5 defendants to be sentenced in this case. New data from ADP shows private companies cut 32,000 jobs in November, Small businesses saw the biggest drop, cutting about 120,000 jobs, while larger companies added around 90,000. The numbers fall below expectations from economists. The government's official November jobs report, though, has been delayed until the middle of this month. And that's a look at your morning rush. Operation Santa is underway in Clackamas County. For the past 51 years, Clackamas firefighters have gotten some help from Santa, collecting toys for local kids. So this was the first parade of the year where Santa goes along touring different neighborhoods to greet kids. Last night they were in Clackamas. They don't pick up toys during these parades, but they do hold several drop-off events. And get this, we've heard that Santa will also be in Oregon City today. So check them out. You can track the parade route, by the way, and find out more information about events at clackamasfire.com.
Driving into oncoming traffic again. Speeds are over 80 now. Speeds are 90.
A serial street racing suspect is behind bars after leading Portland police on a chase through the city. Coming up here in our next half hour of Sunrise, the view from a police helicopter and also from the driver's own dash cam. Also at 7:30, a century-old beer-making supply store, closing up shop. We're going to have details on why the store has decided to close. Again, coming up in our next half hour. We'll close out the 7 a.m. half hour with this live look from Salem, a look at the state capitol building there. Chris McGinnis will also be on board with us here in just a moment with another look at today's forecast.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on what's turning out to be a wet Thursday morning drive, and the rain, I think, having something to do with the slowing that we've got on I-5. There you go. That's up near the Expo Center, and while it would typically be pretty busy at this hour of the morning, it's a little slower than usual. We're up to almost 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Elsewhere, yeah, windshield wipers going, and the drive is slow. There's the inbound Banfield over on the lower right-hand part of your screen. That trip coming in from Troutdale has jumped up to about 28 minutes at last check. Of course, in the rain, we check out radar. Light rain, but rain nonetheless, and the progress that this rain has made over the last 3 hours, you can see it's been coming in from the north to the south. This will be with us pretty much all day today with heavier amounts to the north, lighter amounts to the south, but we're all getting wet to the tune of maybe 2 to 4/10 of an inch of rain here in Portland. Raining over the Interstate Bridge, 42 last check in Vancouver. We're socked in with the clouds right now with a low cloud deck over downtown, 42 last check at PDX as well. Temperatures not going very far in the rain, about 48 for a high this afternoon.
Good morning. This is interesting. Pantone has officially named the 2026 color of the year. The color is a bit plain. It's called Cloud Dancer.
No, it's called white. Come on. What?
It's a slightly off-white color. Officials say Cloud Dancer is a, quote, billowy, balanced, white, I don't even know what that word is.
Imbued.
Imbued. With a feeling of serenity.
Oh, boy.
I can tell you, I don't feel any of that.
Hold me closer, cloudy dancer.
That's the color. I mean, I did see their post, and then there was a bunch of like red carpet celebrities in that dress, but I don't know. I feel like that's very boring.
It's pretty, actually, we should have led with this. For maybe 1 million to 2 million years, that color has been called white. This morning it's called Cloudy Dancer.
There's 7,000 different ways to say white and every other color, right? And all the artists of the world know that we are not them.
I just wonder if there is any singular person in the entire world where that color is in front of their face. I'm like, oh, that's Cloud Dancer.
Or that's the best color of the year.
Or did they make up that name?
What's going on here?
Probably the person that purchased the imagined artwork would be into that. Remember that story?
Yeah,
the person that bought that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's your one
that
individual.
All right. All right, let's get you out the door. This is a look at rain. It's back, and a lot of it, too. Well, I mean, it's going to rain all day is my point. Not necessarily a lot, but it will be raining more than not throughout the day. This is radar over the last 3 hours. It's been coming in from the north to the south, and the gradient, if you will, of rainfall today, more to the north, less to the south, but we're all getting wet today. For sure. So that's going to obviously make for some slow driving out there, which it already is, especially out of Clark County. I'll show you that commute in a second. 42 last check in Vancouver at the airport there. Downtown Portland, our Wells Fargo sky camera, so this sits up at like 500 feet over downtown Portland, and it is solidly in the cloud deck. We look down below, you can barely see some of the tops of the other buildings out there. So a wet day today for sure. 48, by the way, for a high. Wet tomorrow and warmer with highs in the mid-50s. We'll break that down in more detail and try to find some dry patches in the forecast coming up in just a bit. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. I'm going to start off in Vancouver because that's probably our significant slow spot right now, crossing the Interstate Bridge. No crashes or anything. It's just slow in the rain. Folks really puttering along there up near the Expo Center. Right now we're looking at almost 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. I'll look at some of the other freeway drive times here. Over on the west side, you can see we're riding the brakes pretty hard there on the Sunset. We're up to 32 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough to downtown. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Some pretty wild video in this next story. A serial street racing suspect is behind bars this morning after his alleged involvement in a street takeover and a hit and run that led police through a chase in the city.
Ellen McCarty walks us through the video from police and the driver's dash cam.
Yep, I got him.
This was the moment PPB tracked down a Ford Mustang they say was involved in a street takeover and hit and run in northeast Portland. Officers reported the driver was driving too fast, doing burnouts and donuts in southeast before they turned on lights and sirens.
Just cut off a whole bunch of traffic. It is now eastbound on Division, driving in oncoming traffic.
Police say behind the wheel was 19-year-old Jeffrey Baker, speeding without lights on the wrong side of the road, as seen in this dashcam video from inside the suspect's car. Investigators say he was the one who, 3 days earlier, hit a woman while doing donuts in the road.
Driving in oncoming traffic again. Speeds are over 80 now. Speeds are 90.
PPB's police plane followed the car for nearly 20 minutes before another officer threw down spike strips. But they say the suspect kept going, crashing blocks later.
Just caused a crash. It stalled out here, 82 in Division. I got the driver north curb line, running back north,
Officers took Baker into custody, charging him with a long list of crimes, from assault in the third degree and eluding police to reckless driving and DUI.
Again, that was Alma McCarty reporting for us this morning. According to court documents, the suspect is currently on supervision for reckless driving in Clackamas County, and his license is also suspended until the year 2034.
Washington County deputies are looking for a group of thieves who stole a mom's car and broke into several others in the Bethany neighborhood. Surveillance video shows 3 suspects checking car doors. In some cases, authorities say that they were able to get into the cars and grab personal items. And in Pamela Sears' case, she woke up to find her entire car gone.
It was right here. So imagine me holding my toddler. I'm looking out the window thinking, I just got to grab my shoes. I'm on my way to work and I'm on my way to daycare. It's gone.
So she says her 2 car seats for her toddlers, as well as Christmas gifts, were also inside the car. Sears says her car was unlocked at the time. The sheriff's office wants to remind everyone to lock their vehicles and to take valuables out. A century-old beer-making supply store in Southeast Portland is shutting its doors. F.H. Steinbart Company first opened in 1918. The shop on Southeast 12th sells everything home brewers need, and it's helped some of Oregon's most well-known brands get off the ground.
We got multi-generational people that have shop here. You know, they came with their dad or their grandfather, so it has a lot of memories for people.
I can't think about home brewing in Oregon without thinking of F.H. Steinbart's. It's just that fermented into our history.
So the sales manager says not enough people are brewing at home to keep the business going these days. No word on when their last day is, but for now, almost everything is on sale.
We also have an update for you this morning on a Northeast Portland hospital that's closing in February. We talked about Vibra Specialty Hospital yesterday on Sunrise. Some people who live in that neighborhood have been complaining about the piles of trash you see right there outside the hospital. Vibra told a city inspector that their garbage service was accidentally cut off too soon. They also say their dumpsters and those bags contain medical supplies, not medical waste. Vibra also wants to make it clear the hospital closure is related to its financial challenges, not the garbage situation.
So this next story could have taken a very scary turn, but thankfully ended in rescue and reunion.
A Washington County man found a cat trapped inside the engine compartment of his truck, so he called on local first responders for some help. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live now with more details on this story. Corey?
Good morning, Drew. China. That's right. That man who discovered the cat says he first noticed it after he heard the faint sound of meowing while he was driving. So he pulled over and he saw the cat stuck deep down in his engine compartment, but it couldn't be reached because of where it was lodged specifically. So he called Washington Animal Services, but they didn't have the tools on hand to get the cat out. So Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue was also called, but their crews also found that rescue pretty tricky. So their fleet division came on scene, prepared to move part of the engine out of the way. And that's exactly when that tabby squirmed its way back into a position where they could easily reach it. So they were luckily able to get the cat out unharmed. But emergency officials say this incident serves as a good reminder to check your vehicles before you drive as the weather gets colder.
The cat was trapped between the firewall and the transmission and part of the brake booster. So its head was kind of wedged up in there. Pound on your hood or honk your horn and see if there's a critter in there, you know, it can work its way back out before you fire up your rig.
Now, Animal Services did take that cat into its care. The cat is actually named Tom. Thankfully, it was reunited with its owner yesterday afternoon. Animal Services officials tell me that thankfully that cat was also microchipped, so that helped with the reunion. Drew, China.
All right, Corey Johnson with a live update on that cat story this morning. Chris McGinnis, meanwhile, working the weather story. Rod Hill off the next few days. So, Chris, lots of green on the radar this morning.
The bark worse than the bite here. Cats and dogs. Hey, my pet of the day, by the way, is coming up. Nice segue. The bark worse than the bite here with the rain. It looks like, oh, there's a lot of rain. It's light rain, at least today. Today's rain will be light, but it's going to be with us all day. That's what Futurecast shows us here as I roll the clock on our computer model. So, yes, wet for sure today. Temperatures up and down the I-5 corridor, generally in the low 40s, low to mid 40s at the coast. It's chilly across the eastern part of the state, actually waking up to temperatures in the teens and 20s, where we may see some snowflakes early on, but eventually you will transition to rain. Burns will warm up to about 41 today. At the beach, a little breezy, south wind on the order of 15 to 25, with highs eventually getting into the 50s, periods of rain, especially for the north coast. The gorge, cloudy with periods of rain or increasing rain, and temps in the mid-40s for you. And then up and down the I-5 corridor today, we're talking maybe 48 or so here in Vancouver. Getting down towards Salem, McMinnville, Corvallis, you folks should be in the upper 40s as well. And the lows, by the way, no, we're not falling off all that much tonight. It'll be a relatively mild night. All right, as I promised, meet Jack. Jack is today's KGW Pet of the Day. Thank you, Cassidy and Zach, for sharing. If you'd like to get a proper shout out to your favorite four-legged friend or just a pet, you got a snake, a donkey, a giraffe, send your photos to petoftheday@kgw.com. You do that, and we will give them an appropriate shout out. All right, the 7-day forecast right now, rainy tomorrow. I think Friday's morning commute actually may be quite rainy, and then we look to get maybe a break in the rain overnight and into Saturday with a few showers around. Sunday also looks like a pretty wet day. All right, how is the rain impacting the roads? Well, your drive times will tell you. We are pretty slow now on not only the Banfield, but Highway 26, the Sunset coming in from Hillsborough. That drive has jumped up to 34 minutes at last check. We'll zoom into the Sylvan Hill, Highway 26 at Skyline Boulevard, and you can see traffic is definitely slow and go there coming down into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Also lined up in North Portland, that's I-5 up near the Expo Center. Your southbound drive from Clark County has jumped to nearly 30 minutes to get you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Speaking of bridges, we've got a bridge closure this weekend, overnight anyway. The I-205 Abernathy Bridge between Oregon City and West Lynn will close Friday night from 11 to 6 and Saturday night from 11 to 7 as ODOT works to install a sign bridge in the area. So your detours, of course, 99E, Highway 43, or I-5. You're definitely going to want to know that if you've got an early morning run to the airport from like Wilsonville or Tualatin. Plan on taking I-5. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris.
Still to come here on the Sunrise Show. Shopping for that perfect holiday toy can be tough, but we do have a few tips and tricks we're going to share with you. That story coming up here in just a moment. And we're also talking about online shopping, China. I know you're all over this story.
Yeah, because one shopping online may be costing you more than you think. How you could be paying for more than just convenience after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Quick heads up about this year's KGW Great Toy Drive as we remind you one of the easiest ways to give is to hop online. You can go to kgw.com/toy and make a cash donation. Let us do the toy shopping for you. There's only 2 weeks left to give, by the way, and this is a great time to give because all this week, Oregon Corrections Enterprises is doubling donations, so we thank them for that. Also, a quick reminder, we have 2 collection events coming up this weekend. The first, right there on your screen, Washington Square Mall. We'll be out there collecting new unwrapped toys between 11 and 2 o'clock on Saturday. And then the very next day, we're going to collect some more toys at the Oregon Ballet's matinee performance of the Nutcracker. Again, that happens on Sunday.
And we know shopping for kids isn't easy. There are a ton of options, many with age restrictions. So how do you know what to buy? In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan talks to one toy expert about the most popular gifts for kiddos this year.
Walking down the aisle of any toy store can be overwhelming with all the choices on the shelves. So how can shoppers and Santa nail down the list?
Santa's sleigh is big, but he has to carry kid toys for all the kids, so be careful about what you ask for.
Toy expert Chris Byrne, known as the Toy Guy, says it's better to buy a few items that kids will really love, which may mean spending a little more on a single item. Byrne says Legos are always a great option. They even have some choices for kids as young as 2, like the Lego Duplo Interactive Adventure Train, which will cost you around $79.99. Byrne says interactive toys that offer various smart stages are a great option because the toy advances as the child's skills do, like the Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn 4-in-1 activity table and easel. Some retailers are selling it for $43 all the way up to $57, so compare prices.
It starts as a busy board, converts to a play table, a drawing table, and finally an easel.
Looking for something a little cuddlier? How about this? Coco the Tumbling Panda for about $55. A really popular item among kids this year is the Transformers Cyber World.
He actually converts from a transformer to a scorpion tank.
And of course, Labubu's.
Labubu is a fashion accessory. It is having a moment.
Byrne warns that shoppers should watch out for knockoffs and copycat versions.
Pop Mart is the only real source and the official licensee of that.
No matter the gift, buyers should always check the age guidelines on the toy.
That age grading is not so much about the child's development level, because every child is different, but it's also about what's safe and easy.
Byrne also recommends reading customer reviews. He also has more recommendations on his website, thetoyguy.com. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
From Jen Sullivan, we go to Chris McGinnis. Chris is all over the weather forecast.
It's all over wet out there today and over the next several days, so you'll see that reflected in our 7-day forecast. That, of course, is our headline today. Light rain. Rain all day, but light rain. This is not going to be like the rainiest of all days, but you get the idea. So we're going to be dealing with that today. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow's morning commute may actually be more impacted by the rain than today. And what I mean by that is I think the rain is actually a little heavier. Get a little break later Friday into early Saturday, and then another system comes in on Sunday. So when we put all of that together, we're looking at maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain cumulatively here in Portland over the next 3 or 4 days. Also, high snow levels. That's, you know what, let me take you up there real quick. We had a few snowflakes on our Timberline camera earlier. It's 33 degrees there right now. This continues to be a story now as we get a little deeper into December. There is just nothing in terms of a base up there. And while I show you the snowfall forecast, over the next 7 days, those snow levels in the Oregon Cascades will be probably 7,000 feet and up. So we're talking above the ski resort base level, unfortunately. There are some indications that maybe next weekend we get a colder weather pattern that would bring us some significant snow, but that's still about 10 days away. We'll certainly keep you posted on that. All right, radar showing plenty of green on the map. You can see the progress the generally light rain has made this morning. And Futurecast just keeps on walking that shield of rain right on through southwest Washington and northwest Oregon today. Also, it's cold enough that we could have some wet snowflakes east of the Cascades and into central and eastern Oregon this morning, but your temperatures also will be coming up, so we'll transition to generally mountain snow for the east side of the state. Meanwhile, maybe a little break in the action this evening, and then here's that next slug of moisture kind of focusing in on the morning commute tomorrow. So if this comes in exactly at that time, you can bet that there's going to be some water on the roads for the Friday morning commute. And then an opportunity possibly to dry out a little bit Friday night. Saturday's drippy. It's going to be cloudy with a little bit of light rain here and there. And then the next system comes ashore late Saturday night and Sunday. And therein lies our potential for on the order of about 1 to 2 inches of rain up and down the I-5 corridor. As we mentioned, high elevation snow, but generally raining at the passes and raining at the Cascade ski resorts, and of course, raining at the Oregon coast as well. Our 7-day forecast shows temperatures in the upper 40s today. And if anything, so I've got us topping out at 48, and I've got the low of 48. I mean, our temperatures may actually come up overnight. So milder air coming in, and that'll set the stage for a pretty rainy Friday. A little break in the rain on Saturday and then more rain on Sunday. And a good chunk of next week also looks pretty wet. Okay, let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. And whoa, all the drive times now have jumped into red. Sorry about that. Your northbound I-5 commute from Wilsonville now up to 36 minutes. We'll give you a look at some of those traffic cameras out there. Things are building on the Sunset as well. Here's the drive out near the Sylvan Hill. It's wet for pretty much everybody in the metro area. And really slow now on that I-5 South Drive. That's up near the Expo Center. At last check, we're bunching things up towards about SR 500. So that trip from Hazeldale has basically jumped up to about 32 minutes now to get you into downtown. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris. The Olympic torch is lit and it's making its way to the host cities of Cortina and Milan in Italy. We're going to talk about what's next for the torch, where it's going next, and we're also going to take a look at the snowboarder who is simply known as the Queen of the Halfpipe. When Sunrise, streaming live here at 7 o'clock, continues in just a couple of minutes.
And the magic of lights back at the Oregon State Fairgrounds. Now through next Monday, you can save $8 on weekday tickets when you buy tickets online using the code KGW8.
Nothing funny about that.
The website for tickets is magicoflights.com/Salem.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
USA. The Olympic flame for the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Games was handed over to Italian organizers in Athens at the same marble stadium that hosted the first modern Olympics. The flame is now making its way to and through Italy for a 63-day, 7,500-mile relay through all 110 provinces before the opening ceremony coming up on February 6th. By the way, a separate Paralympic flame will be lit February 24th in England.
And we are getting our first look at some of our competitors on Team USA, including two-time Olympic champion Chloe Kim.
Oh, we take one. Come on, Mark.
Take one? How many takes? Hopefully I don't mess up.
Never.
Oh my goodness! A perfect 100 for Chloe Kim!
Your accolades deserve a special seat. Hunter?
Hunter's late. Oh, okay, that makes up for it. Where's my tiara?
Queen. How does this feel?
It feels good.
Feels right.
Yeah, I do think maybe I was a queen in my past life.
She is the queen of the pipe. Chloe Kim reigns supreme in South Korea.
My name is Chloe Kim. I am a half-pipe snowboarder, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
The parental support is everything, and they're there every step of the way.
My parents travel with me, which is awesome. My mom's like my private chef. She makes me all the yummy foods. My dad was my coach growing up, so he definitely will give me unsolicited advice, and that definitely causes a little bit of a thing. But honestly, it's just nice to have that type of support and like bring a piece of home with you when you're away for so long.
American Chloe Kim with the gold medal flex.
The first ever to go back-to-back gold in women's halfpipe.
I genuinely love being able to go to the Olympics and represent my country, and it makes my parents so proud. Which, is really hard to do in Asian culture. On top of that, I think being able to inspire the next generation and show them that anything truly is possible is pretty cool. Yeah, like a kid did a school project on me. Didn't pick the best picture of me, but still did it. And I hope they get an A.
All right, back to our local headlines this morning. Oregon and Washington are 2 of 5 states that received the highest rating report from the new 2026 Roadmap to Safety. It's a report that comes from Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety. This group bases its ratings on how well states adopt recommended road safety laws. Oregon and Washington both received praise for enforcement of seatbelt laws, laws against using cell phones while driving, and also using red light cameras to catch red light runners. Both states also showed a few things they could work on, like restricting nighttime driving for people who are just learning to drive.
Coming up at 8 on KGW Plus, President Donald Trump went on the record saying that he wants people of Somali origin out of the U.S. We'll have reactions from the community in Western Washington.
Also coming up, it's been almost 12 years since a Malaysia Airlines flight vanished from thin air. Where did it go? How did it happen? Lots of questions remain unanswered. We're going to look at the renewed search effort coming up on Sunrise at 8 o'clock. That 8 o'clock hour, by the way, is just about 4 minutes away. We'll wrap up this hour with a live look outside, a live look from our Skycam set up at the Reserve Vineyard and Golf Club. Again, the 8 o'clock hour of the show on its way.